Okay, so just a couple of things real quick before we get into looking at the new comic books this week. It just occurs to me that there are so many more people who see these videos than who actually ever come. I mean, they may eventually get into the store at some point in their life, but they're much further away than just around the corner, and the people who are shoppers here locally who see the videos. There's so many more people see these videos, and they have no idea who I am or what I'm talking about. I just turn on the camera and say, here's some new books, come and get them. And so I thought it might be kind of fun to just point out the fact that we are indeed a great big comic book shop, and tell you who I am as well, because I take for granted that too. I'm well known in my circles, but this is a little outside my circles in some ways. I'm well known in the store and around town for good or bad, and there's plenty of long and short stories to go along with that over the years that I've been here. But I'm Michael Storm, and I am the anarchist of comic books. Tell me I'm not. And this is my store in Topeka, Kansas. It's called Amazing Fantasies, and that's right, we don't have a bunch of sealed Pokemon. Do not drive a truck through our walls. Looks like there's a couple of comic books that need to be resettled. Every once in a while, a big truck rolls down. We have a nice, great, big, busy street, at least 9 to 5. The streets kind of roll up after about 5 p.m. right around here. And, but there's some big trucks that go right down the road. And, you have no idea. There's so many wonderful things. This is just the most recent spot where we put up a place, and it's filling up quickly. I just did that just the other day. I need to refill the loose toys rack, but it'd just be a great idea to give you a look at the store for those people who have never been in before, who aren't around in the neighborhood, and just give you an idea of how many comic books we have at any one time. There are about 60,000 loose books on the floor. As you can see, this is the danger room. This is the Marvel side, and they start at $2. And here's all the turtles, including a brand new Shredder number 3. That Shredder is a great storyline. Here's the Batcave, and the Batcave is extra big, and there's a reason for that. But it takes up both of these right here, and these are all comic books. These are all up for sale, and they're all fairly well organized. Sometimes some of the writing is a little bit better on some of the things than others, but they're A to Z. They're fairly well organized, and they're all starting at $2, except for just a couple of spaces out here. Well, it's obvious that these up here are different. These are to the ratio books or keys or something like that, and they have a little bit more value on them, as you can see. But all these books out here, $2 generally every day, and then we have a sale every Tuesday, sort of a buy one get one. So they're basically just $1 if you buy at least 2 of them. They'd be just $1 a piece. This is one of the spots where they're not what we call the bulk comic books, the $1 and $2 comic books, and this is obvious. It's obvious that it's different than the rest of the stuff out there, and yes, as much as some of you guys don't like it, some of the pricing is when you come to the counter, but you're pretty well aware of it. We don't change prices on you. It's not like you'll find a book out here that's priced at $7, and when you get to the counter, we're going to up the price to 10 or something. That's not the case. It's just never been priced. We've never looked at the price. We stand to gain or lose. It could be a $10 book, could be a $2 book. Makes no difference. These guys here, these are some that we've sorted through a little bit better, and they are your minor keys, major keys, older, vintage. You have Marvel, DC, has some random miscellaneous Golden Age, and this is just the stuff that we've been able to get through. Here's some collections, some of the bigger collections. Here's some of the trades, and And it's just, like I said, it's some of the stuff that we've been able to get through. There's about 60,000 books on the floor, starting at the $1 to $2 range. Here's some of our Dungeons and Dragons. I know I showed some of this stuff. And there's a whole bunch of pops, and we have some more pops, and here's some magic. Lots and lots of magic. All of that is magic, commons and uncommons, and we have plenty of rares and mythics as well. But I was going to say is that, so there's about 60,000 books on the floor. This is packed all the way to the back. There's just a little pathway right in here. As you can see, we've pulled a few, but they've just been moved right here. You know, there's 30, 40 boxes just in this stack right here, and this is the kind of thing that we're trying to get through. It's the stuff that's being worked on immediately that is probably going specifically into bulk. But then we have thousands more and thousands more. So probably 200,000 books back there, something like that. And we put out many books every day. It's just constant. We never stop putting out books. Some days we get out more books than others, and a lot of time has been spent putting these wonderful bundles together. This is something that Ben has done. So we have box after box of sort of complete storylines. You don't have to go looking for them. They're, you know, they are what they are. They're priced properly. If you're looking at, you know, something that you think is a $1 million collection and it's only $500,000, it's because the books rate that in terms of condition. So we try to keep all of that in mind, and it's just, yep, that one doesn't want to come out. But yeah, it's just, okay, simple. First Forest, you're familiar with it, right? You've seen it before. That's classic from the 1980 something, 6 something, 4. All right, there you go, close enough. Nah, to the end. Marvel. Some bundles, some big bundles, some old, very old. People from the 30s and 40s old. And some signed stuff. Scotty Young, Aaron. Just look at that. Remember that? And that's one of the ones that's not like a million signatures on it. You can still see the picture. Handful of, there's some signed, graded stuff. Some of my personal favorites. Kevin Smith signed Cacophony. You got Andy Kubert, and you got Joe Quesada, Ninja K, Dark Knight, just so much. And then here's one of the most recent fun things. Is all of the Batman, Deadpool covers. Well, actually, we're out of A's, which at first I didn't even realize we had any, or that it wasn't a cardstock cover. I thought they did all of them in cardstock. Just these, just an amazing array of covers. I had a tech problem that hit me last week, and that's why I didn't end up doing one of these little introductions where I talk about how the new books are in this week, and it kicks off with DCKO number 2. The fight continues, or the fights. There's so many of them. So if you got these wonderful acetate covers. I think, do we still have any? I don't know if we have any. That's the local comic shop day one. I put the number 1 separate right back here, so we have still just a number of different covers. We didn't go too deep on these. So there's a few, literally, of each cover. A handful more of these because we can buy them in a bundle, and if we buy enough to get the bundle cheap enough that it's hopefully worth it for us to buy more than we could probably sell. It just depends on the event, and it depends on you guys whether or not you're really into it. The acetate cover is really cool, though. It's basically that cover underneath, if you've ever had one of those acetate covers. And the battles continue. There's that AEW, the wrestling. That's that cover. They've been doing the one for each of the issues so far. People are going to be coming back for that one. I think we finally sold the last of the other one, the Deadpool versus Batman, and it was Thing versus Big Barda. and the artist escapes me off the top of my head. I see so many of them, and I think about it as I'm sitting here bagging these up, getting ready to throw them out. But we have number ones for you, and the ties are here. Here's your Night Flights, your Aquaman. I think there's, yeah, here we go. There's Titans right there. Absolute Batman 14, that's a big deal. Batman juices up to do the final battle against Bane here, and that, of course, leads into the Joker, who appears for the first time in issue 15, and that guy looks wild. The Joker is just a crazy-looking creature. I don't know. We'll see what the backstory is on that. All new Absolute Wonder Woman with some absolutely fabulous covers. Derek Chu there. What are you going to do, right? All of these covers, all of the Absolute Wonder. This is my last bundle, I think, of the Absolute Wonder Woman. So this is a $50 bundle, which is probably half or even less than half of what they're charging for it online on eBay. So it's 1 through 11 for $50, and it's the last one. We've been through a bunch of them. Ben has put them together. I bet we don't have 12 and 13. It would not surprise me at all. This was great. This is an anthology, Christmas anthology series. We just have a couple of covers for it. And it's called DC's I Saw a Ma Hunkle Kissing Santa Claus. And it's actually 8 different stories. A number of the different characters, DC characters, get involved in there. Harley's in the story. Justice League versus Kong, that goes. This was really great second print on this Wonder Woman 25. Just a fantastic foil, shiny, and doesn't that look like Venom's logo? Every time I see that, I think the first thing I think is who did Venomize? Who got Venomized now? We're running low. If you go back and look at the videos each week, and you'll see that these are disappearing every week. There's less and less of them, and it's because we're selling them at a killer value compared to half or more than what they're selling for on eBay. Here's some more of these bundles. This has been our primary bundle space, our premier bundle space, I guess, just because it's right here under all the new stuff. And Ben just recently, most of this I can tell is new because we're trying to get away from these little stickers here, which were just a long story, and then getting into more of a printed, recognizable, organized, cleaner, everything that comes along with it. The Marvel stuff is just amazing this week. The Daredevil and Punisher, man, is Daredevil going to pull the trigger on Frank? Because he literally puts Matt in that position. Frank puts Matt in that position, and one of those bundles found its way up here somehow. Infernal Hulk #1. If you're a Hulk fan, you've been waiting for this one. Just a couple of things because of the glitch last week, my little tech glitch last week. A couple of things that didn't get mentioned. My last one of the Holiday Spectacular, and there was a small stack of them there. There was 6. There was like 3 different covers or something like that. But that's my last one. It's done really well. Ultimate Spider-Man, this is obviously a facsimile of the original. And then Venom, Black, White, and Blood. And I love the Black, White, and Blood stuff. There's the Predator as well, and Wolverine's done one, and Punisher has done one, and let's see, Daredevil, and also Elektra, and I don't even know who all else, but they're just fantastic because they're anthology books. I know I've been on these guys about their anthology books because they don't do a regular anthology book. It's stuff like this. This is anthology. This is fun. Well, it's a bunch of different stories that are all connected about Spider-Man traveling around. He's kind of doesn't have much to do on the holidays. Over the holidays, it starts off at Hanukkah and goes through the first of the year in these various holidays and visits to various, the Avengers, the X-Men, Fantastic Four. Hangs out with Matt for a while. It's really, really great story, but it's not like they don't even have a regular anthology book like you would expect out of a Detective Comics or something like that for Marvel. But these by Black, White, and Blood books are just that. They're 3 or 4 stories along those lines, and they're all black and white, and there's a splash of red in most of the books, and it's not always the blood. It's highlights, and it's not in every panel. It's only just some panels, and sometimes there are other colors as well, but ultimately it's the red. And they're just great stories, and it's just one of those places where you have the opportunity to get a different perspective of some of these same characters from different creators who might never get to try them out. Just a couple more things. We added some more of the Age of Revelation books. We have there's Expengers, Expatriates. That's new this week. But then there's also, we made it a point to pick up some more because some of them are gone, so we're not going to be able to get any more of them. But some of the others, we were able to get our hands on another number 2 or another number 1 and sort of fill in some gaps there. So if you're missing some, dig through there. Just don't put them out of order. Can you guys not spell or something? Not that, I'm just kidding. These things are not in any kind of order. They're relatively alphabetic or otherwise by association. Obviously, all of these are Age of Revelation. These are all Ultimate books, that sort of thing. It kind of works out like that. These are the absolute books. They're relative to each other, and even these, E, F, G, M, S, W. So yeah, they're relative. Brand new from the Miranda Brothers, Arcadia. I can't say anything about it yet because I haven't read it, but it is on the top of my list to read this week, because if you've followed along any of my reviews of the books that I've been reading since the beginning of the year, I've talked about the Miranda Brothers, and they've come up before. Brand new Berserker, what are you going to say? Keanu Reeves, and boy, that one really, that's obviously Keanu right there. That's not always been the case with the Berserker covers. There's been a sort of artistic interpretation, but there's no question that that is Keanu on that one. And there's foils and regulars of each of those, and a couple more. We didn't go too deep again. Collision Force, this is G.I. Joe if it wasn't for kids. So yeah, they get down and dirty, much more of an adult book than what G.I. Joe ever was. It's definitely not for the kids. It's a book that we did a Kickstarter for. We helped him fund it. It wasn't much. We just got books and replaced for it. It's not like we really helped them do anything. It doesn't seem like sometimes. But it was really fantastic to be able to help them put together this book in terms of getting it out there. And it really is a great read. And we have a couple of special edition, sort of full-on, fancy, really nice. Yeah, it's just everything you want in a good comic book read, and it's for the adults. It's not for the kids. A lot of this stuff you can let the kids read. Some of this stuff you can't. This is one of these ones you cannot let the kids read. Devil on My Shoulder. This is Stark. This is, not just because it's Kyle Starks writing it. It's Stark. It tells you exactly what happened, and maybe this cover gives you an idea because these things happen, and she's going to get her revenge. You can take something on the lighter side, a little Holiday special, Holiday 2025 special with your Vampirella and your Linsner cover, of course. It's necessary, right? Oh my. Just to note a couple of things from last week, and just the fact that we have sort of things that you can get into them and you don't have to feel like you're missing something. And I'll show that in just a minute. But this just came out. This is a facsimile of G.I. Joe, the original Marvel run, number 26, and this is the origin of Snake Eyes. And, of course, it talks about, there's a shiny one. We have a couple of these running around here, and there's a different cover, but it's the same storyline. It's the same story, the Marvel number 26, G.I. Joe. Just a newer cover. And then we had a few more of these, and I think they're worth more than cover, but we're just selling them at cover here. Same deal here, where it's just issue 21. It's the original silent issue, the fight between Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. and just a couple of them available. The Lion King came out last week, #1. These are all new original stories. And Twilight Zone #2 was out. I also have a #1, so you don't have to. This is what I was talking about. You don't have to feel like you're missing or you missed the opportunity. I have one #1 and one #2 left. Same with Red Book. I have a couple #1s, a couple #2s. Terabytes. It's another anthology book, different creators every time. And it is also, I have 1 and 2, and that's it. And you know how that goes. They are either here or they won't be. This is the prize. Everybody is excited. The people that I pointed out to that have they're not in here because they know that they have a chance to win this. They're in here because they want to add another title to their pull, or they want to start a pull because they heard about this great book or whatever, and they want to get on it. But they don't even know about this. And then I pointed out to them, they say, oh, that's the annual? That's the Absolute Batman annual? You're giving that away this month? And I say, yes, we are. So you win that by either starting a pull or adding to your existing pull. And you know the story with the rest of this stuff. It'll either be here when you get her or it won't.